Welcome friends. I am Professor Ashish Agrawal, Program Coordinator for the program Postgraduate Certificate in Inventory Planning and Warehousing Systems for Engineers. This course is basically meant for graduate engineers who have already obtained degree in engineering in any discipline, whether it is civil, mechanical, electrical, because you know that inventory management and warehousing management is today the top most priority areas for engineers and for organizations, even for India, even for all the global countries. We have already covered the course 1, that is MWR01, that Introduction to Inventory Control. Unit 1 to 4 we have already covered. Today, Mr. R.K. Sinha, who is ex-GM of Coal India Limited, will take Unit 5 and Unit 6 for this block number 2. Block number 1 we have already covered. We hope that the session taken by Mr. R.K. Sinha will be useful and will provide you a lot of insight for the program. So, that will make you very knowledgeable, very capable of handling the situations. The topic for the Unit 5 is inventory control techniques. Different control techniques will be studied and will be discussed. I welcome Mr. R.K. Sinha for the session.
Welcome students. So now we are taking the Unit 5 Block 2, that is Selective Inventory Control Techniques. And we have there are the several methods to control the inventory techniques, and these techniques are very much useful while in stores or warehousing for controlling the inventory. So in this chapter, this learning objective, we have introduction, objective, primary objectives of management and control of inventory, inventory control system. There are the various techniques, ABC techniques, VED techniques, SDE techniques, HMT techniques. There are various techniques you will see later on. Then why we want to control the inventory. The introduction of that one, that major goal of a decent arrangement of operation control of inventory is to have the capacity to put in request at a right time from the correct source to procure the correct amount at right cost and right quality. Means whenever inventory is required, it is available on the site, and at the right time when it is required, it is available on the site. And also we have see that cost should be reasonable. What inventory play the role? The inventory play the role that inventory is the lifeblood of production system. When you are having a manufacturing system, the inventory, without inventory cannot move up. So you want to speed up the production system, we want the regular flow of the inventory. Why we inventory need? Why value of material and goods held by organization is what does it help the manufacturing process? Means the three types of help it is doing inventory. That to support the production, means raw materials, sub-assembly, work in process. These are the materials we are supplying to the manufacturing to support the production work or manufacturing work. For support activities like the repair, maintenance, consumables. So we have also the inventory for that repair, maintenance, consumable to support activities. And rest on that for finished goods, spare parts that is available for sale or a customer service. The three types of support we are giving in the form of the inventory we are giving to the manufacturing process. Inventory is frequently having the biggest thing in the present source of classification and must be precisely tallied and esteemed toward the finish of each bookkeeping period to decide an organization benefit in or misfortune. Means what are the inventory uses is frequently used or a random use, we must book in put in a process that in bookkeeping, and to decide that what its benefit, how the organization is benefited, or it is a dead inventory, so it is a misfortune. Later on, the association which inventory things have a substantial unit cost by and large keep an everyday record of changes in inventory called perpetual inventory method. Means that unit cost by and large keep an everyday record of changes in inventory. Means we have to keep a record to that what are the changes in inventory, store of the inventory every day. So some of the organization now that organization should be manufacturing activity, whenever is required, the material should be available on the site. So there is no mean of the storing it. So it is that what are the restoring we have done, that storing is used day by day, and we have to record that how much inventory is used and what is inventory is rest, to guarantee the precise and ongoing control of the production system. In association, they are the load of completed items, semi-completed items, in-process material, crude materials, safe parts, working parts, powers and consumables. The aggregate name of whole thing is inventory. Means what are the materials in the raw material or a crude material or safe parts, in components, working parts, powers, consumables. These all they are coming up. The comprehensive name of this whole thing is inventory. Now we have to see that inventory, what is the importance of inventory? Inventory occupies the most strategic position in the structure of working capital of the organization. Means it is a most of the main part or vital part of the working capital, or it constitutes the biggest part of the current resource. Means what are the resources we are having, that also a major portion that your inventory. The turnover of the working capital is to great extent subject to turnover of inventory. It is therefore, these lines are very normal, that inventory which helps in amplification of benefit involves the most significant place among the current resources. And the next, that maintenance of inventory means, what does maintenance of inventory means? That blocking of funds. So it involves the interest and opportunity cost to the organizations. The inventory cost is not just enthusiasm on the stocks, it in addition the cost of a store working for capacity, protection and obsolescence. Consequently, it is important that an extraordinary emphasis is set on the inventory management and control systems. So what do you mean by opportunity cost? Opportunity cost, there were 3, 4, 5 alternatives are there. We are using one alternative. The rest alternative, how much it costs to the activity, that is called opportunity cost. Now, what is the primary objective of the management control of the inventory? What is our aim? To limit the likelihood of disturbance in the production schedule for the need of the crude material, consumables, extras and different store things. To keep down the capital investment in the inventories. To guarantee the satisfactory supply of completed items. To meet the conveyance perquisites of the client. Means what is that? The supply of completed items must to meet the customer need, and there will be a proper conveyance systems to see that client should be satisfied. The unnecessary level of inventory means that is what is called which inventory are not used, consume the asset of a system which cannot be utilized for some other regions. In this way includes an opportunity cost, because here the opportunity cost will come. The conveying cost, for the example, such as cost of shortage, handling, insurance, recording and inspection are likewise expanded in the extent at the volume of inventory. This cost will weaken the organization profitability further. Means which are the inventory which are the not used, which are the dead inventory, that is a major portion of the working capital is trapped. So naturally the organization will suffer, and this will be definitely there is a eating of the profit further. So we have to see that there will be a proper inventory storing which can be used for the manufacturing system. No dead inventory is required. Now it's coming to management part. The management of inventory is overwhelming and difficult task consists of supervision of supply, stockpiling, following accessibility of inventory things so as to guarantee that there is a sufficient accessibility of the things without of stock, without of over accessibility to under accessibility, and like some other administration process. Administration of the stock control likewise comprises of an arrangement of approaches working system that are minded to expand the utilization of the stock so that there remains minimum measure of the stock speculations. It is a ordinary done through the stock control which demonstrate how much load of a thing of a system is having any one time, how to monitor the change the supply of the things, means in a production line or a manufacturing line, assembly line, the how much inventory needed at what point of time. So we have to control the stock or administer the stock to see that the requirement of production or manufacturing line should be fulfilled properly. Efficient stock control helps the organization to have a right amount of stock at right place at right time. It is already explained that whenever we required for the production line, the inventory should be available at that point of time, and at that point of place. It ensures that capital is not tied up unnecessarily. By this one, we can see that capital is not tied unnecessarily, and inventory that is properly used and protect the production if the problem arises with the supply chain. The aim of the inventory management, the basic aim of the inventory management, to avoid both excessive as well as the insufficient inventory, and also to maintain adequate inventory to organization operation can be a normal way. The effective inventory management is the following: means on the manufacturing line or the assembly line, whenever inventory required in the what quantity should be available at that point of time at that place. So this is called the efficient use of inventory, and there is no unnecessary storing of the inventory, because some of the inventory which are not used, there is a dead inventory, and that adversely affect the organization working capital, where the working capital is trapped and the organization will lose the profit, major profit in this way. The maintenance of sufficient stock of material to take care of requirement during the period of short supply. Maintenance of the sufficient stock of material means the adequate stock of materials, not having the excessive stock of materials. So it will adequate what are the required, that much of the stock of material should be available to take care of the production process. To guarantee a constant supply of material and generation division for the encouraging continuous production. To limit the conveying expense of material, means what are the transportations that should be limited to, that transportation of material should be limited from the store to assembly line or manufacturing place. Support of adequate stock of completed good for the smooth deal of the operation. Smart to protect the inventory against the deterioration, obsolescence and unauthorized, because the inventory is storing if for the long time, then some of the inventory maybe its quality will be deteriorated, or it can be unused. So it will come, that deterioration will be in fast and way. So we have to see that deterioration, obsolescence and unauthorized use should not be happen. Importance of the control techniques. A blender stock can promote the pointless increment in the working capital. The abundance asset can be productively contained to fuel the authoritative development activities of innovative work and endeavors. Successful stock administration means we have to control the administration prompt low stockpiling cost, which thusly prompts an expansion in the hierarchical benefits. On the off chance, the assistant can deal with the stock well and can be seen the amount that should be put in a way at the point where the association requires less storage rooms, as well as the prompt having a down store operational expenses. Means we have to not a much space for the storing, or we have not such a plan that we should not be the unnecessary stockpiling of the materials in the warehouse or in a store. So there is a low stock, there should be a low stockpiling cost will be there, because if you store the material, there are a lot of cost involved, that carrying cost, insurance cost, it is a working capital blockage is there, so much capital is blocked. So we have to see that only that portion of inventory should be in transit, which is in use. Other parts of inventory should not be much part of inventory, should not be stored in the stocks. What are the required that can be stored that way. It can help to satisfy the customer, providing them their products they need in the sufficient in a fast manner. That way, that whenever the customer need, they can get the sales product or completed products. So for their use, even though the poor inventory management leads to a lower availability of products and higher delivery of time, means transportation time is high time. So hence, the sake of the high customer satisfaction, the organization needs to manage the inventory well. So there will be a more emphasis on the conveyance time, means transportation time, wherever is there, so that the time should be less consumed in the transportation time. So things put away in the stock over the long stretch may ruin the prompt pointless increment in the operational expenses. A prepared the stock administration can help the diminish these expenses significantly. Means we have what we have done that if you maintain more stock, then a more working capital is involved and there is an increase in operational expenses that can decrease our profit. So appropriate stock, if you do the proper stock administration and control, can help the diminish these expenses significantly. If the organization has inventory scattered in the various locations, it is need to have a proper system to manage these inventory on the basis of demand and supply. Means if the stores are in a scattered way, so in that way the transportation in a zigzag way, and that naturally the transportation time is much more. So it is affect the demand and supply. And the inventory management techniques, these are the techniques which we are going to explain you. These techniques can help the organization go to long way in managing the multiple inventories. Inventory control techniques is a science and art of ensuring sufficient inventories to held by an organization to both its internal and external demand commitments economically. And the following inventory control system that make the organization optimum use of this one, and the store and the items and inventory should be properly used, and there will be a less impact on the working capital. The first inventory control technique is coming in the ABC analysis. ABC analysis in a short way you can tell always better control, means class A, class B and class C. And second analysis is the VD analysis, that vital, essential and desirable. Means so the items are the vital, which are the essential, less than important than vital, and the desirable means less than important than essential. SD analysis, that is scarce, difficult and easily available, means those are the items inventory which are the scarcely available, very less available, and very much more time is required, lead time is required to get it. So less important that difficult, and less important that easily available. HML analysis, that is the high, medium, low cost, means which the inventory which are the very high cost, the high one, less than that the medium one, and the lowest one the low cost. FSN analysis, the fast, slow and non-moving items. SOS analysis and XYZ analysis. There are a number of the techniques, but we have to, the main techniques is the ABC analysis. So we can also we can discuss most of the control techniques of that one. Then initially we have to explain the ABC analysis. ABC analysis stands for always better control, which I have already told you. It is inventory management technique where the inventory items are classified into the three categories: A class, B class and C class. The item in A category inventory are closely enrolled and consist of high precise inventory, which may be less in the number but are very expensive, and this item in B category are relatively lesser expensive inventory compared to A category, and number of items in B category is moderate, so the control level is also moderate. The category C consists of the high number of inventory items which require lesser investment, so to control level is minimum. Means we have a three class of the inventory: A, B, C. A is the most expensive inventory, B is the less expensive, which is the moderate inventory, and C is the easily available and easily is to control. So the main part of that control that way, the A class inventory and B class inventory. Means if you want to, it is thorough the ABC investigation. A few especially stress that administrative expenses are decreased in ABC investigation. Here the better arrangement and enhance the stock turnover is guaranteed. Means in the most of the scientists and most of the in practical use, you have seen that ABC investigation or ABC process for controlling the inventory is most useful, that we have to more focus on A class inventory and B class inventory much more than the C class inventory. Particular treatment to essential thing to decentralized distance under the ABC, an arrangement of examine of a stock in a panacea of the cure various ills and tormenting the association. And the things incorporated into aggregate into biggest speculation, that stock control out to the most serious in these things. And C class comprises of stock things which include generally a little speculation in spite of the fact that quantity of things are stay vast. These things merit the least consideration of the control in the B bunch. The things are incorporated which are neither A and C. You want to see that by volume and by value, what A stand for, B stand for, C stand for. Means for the A class of material, let me explain what is the importance of the A class item and B class item and C class items. The A class items, which the volume is very less, 10%, but value of the item and utilization is 75%. You see that how expensive this item is there. So we require a lot of control on these items because the major part of the working capital is involved in that item. B class item is a moderate item, less expensive than A. Its volume is 20% and the volume of value of item is also 20%. Means if you are 100 crores is there, then 20 crores of this one, and value of item also is 20%. C class of items, this volume is abundance, 70%, but this value is only 5% because these items are easily available, less costly, so it requires very less monitoring on this process. For the A class item, you see that for the serial number 1 item, so if this table will show that what is the importance of the A class item, B class item, C class item, and how we monitor it, what giving impact on these items in a most priority wise way, in priorities. So the serial number 1 to 16 items are there. Item is 2, 16, 1, 5, 9, 7, 3, 14, 11, 4, 13, 12, 10, 8, 15 and 6. The annual demand is also shown that way. For the serial number 1 and item number 2, the highest demand is 25,000. And for the item 2 and item number 16 is a 48. For item number 1 it is a 72,000. For item number 5 is a 7200. And accordingly that was that up to the 6th item which have a requirement of 100. So what is the price of that item? For the unit price of item of the item number 2 is 30. Item number 16 it is a 4600. Item number 1 is the 20 rupees and item number 5 is the 70 rupees and item number 9 it is a 400. Likewise it coming the item number 6 it is 6 rupees. So what is the annual uses? What is the annual value of that one? So we have multiplied this annual demand into price, unit price, we will get the annual usage value. So this annual usage value, if you have 25,000 into 30, it goes 7,50,000. So in that way 48 multiplied by 4600 is coming 22,800. So likewise we have this column is by addition of the previous columns. So this will come to the item number 6 is coming in the 600. So it is a total cumulative of that one, addition of that one, that is 1383800. So this is the annual usage value and its cumulations. So then what is the proportional usage value? What the proportional value means? If you want to find out the proportional value of item number 2, then we have to proportional usage value means 7,50,000 divided by 1383800. It's come to the 54.20. Means the annual usage value divided by cumulative value, it will come with the proper usage value is there. Proportional usage value and cumulative proportions are well defined to you. The proportional usage value is that the particular annual usage value divided by the cumulative proportion. Means if you want to do that for the item number 2, it come to the 7,50,000 divided by 1383800, it will come to the 54.20. And whenever we come to the cumulative proportion, it comes to the For the item number 2, it is the same, but item number 16. So we have to club 7,50,000 annual value, the both annual value. This 220800 will club, and that is divided by cumulative. So 1383800 is will come to the 70.15%. By there we can see that the proportional usage value and the cumulative value, what are that? There, if the cumulative proportion is there, then it is some A items which having the 54% and 54 by cumulative A item, and this 15% usage value and a 70% cumulative value is A item, and the 80% cumulative value is the A item. After that, it decreasing that part. When the proportional usage value is less than 10, then it is coming to B, and if less than the 1, then it is coming to the C. So this chart we will understand in a comprehensive way what is the importance of A items, what is the importance of B items, and what is the importance of C items. It is well defined that way. So we have to see also one thing, that by graph, suppose we have to graph for a store item, the A class item, B class item, C class item. In the y-axis there is a value is there, and the x-axis it is a volume is there. Volume means you contain in tons and kg and whatever it is there. For the A class item, for the value is much more. So, and the volume is much less, that is coming in the 3. The volume is the 11 lakhs. So it is between the 10 lakhs and 12 lakhs. It is 11 lakhs. And so it is the most expensive items. So this is coming on the A class. For the B class item are moderate items, which is less expensive than the A class items, and the B class item, the volume is bigger than the A class item, means it is 3 to 8 point something, it coming to the more than 5, and it costs having the 2 lakhs, means it is coming to the 11 lakhs to 14 lakhs, 11 lakhs to less than 14 lakhs, it is coming to the 2 lakhs roughly. So it is less expensive, where the A class item has a 11 lakhs value, it is coming to 2 lakhs value B items, but the volume is much more. Then come to the C class item, which have a extensive value of the volume. It is coming to the 16, suppose 16 tons or 16 numbers, whatever it is, and but it is value is the only 1 lakh, because it is coming to the just B items, it is coming to the 13 to 14, so it is coming to the 1 lakhs only. So this is the graph. We can see that how the deviation is there in the A class item, B class item, and C class items. So this way we can know that how we control the stores by ABC analysis. But we have to store, we have to put the A class item in one way, B class item in the other way, and C class item in the second way, so that we have a very much strict control on the A class item, because it controls also working capital. So where the most of the part of the working capital is involved in this way, that is A class item. So we have to control A and B class item properly more than the C class item, so that our working capital should not much excessive working capital is saved for the operational expenses, that is not the dead inventory, that is not in the form of the dead inventory. So this way the ABC analysis or ABC always better control can control the stores management in a proper way. This way we have already concluded half portion of the unit 5, and later on we come to the more control techniques like in a later session.